Hey everyone, this is Daniel from Phone Arena with the Samsung Galaxy Ace 2. The original Ace was a very decent phone for its specs last year, and the Ace 2 is quite on the way to cover that ground this year as well. It has a decent sized screen with good resolution, slightly underclocked, yet dual-core processor and 5-megapixel camera with flash plus a front-facing cam. Indeed, you can ask for much more from what this year fits into the lower mid-range Android device category. The only disadvantage seems to be that it comes with Android 2.3 Gingerbread. Nothing out of the ordinary can be said about the design. It is made with the usual for Samsung black plastic with slightly patterned tapered back and rounded corners. Despite this unassuming exterior though, the phone lies very well in the hand. It is not overly thick or heavy, but feels solid and is very easy to operate with one hand, as you can see. The power lock button is comfortably placed here on the right, and it's directly under your thumb, facilitating one-handed operation as well. This button, along with the volume rocker here on the left and the physical home key, are easy to feel and press with good feedback. There's a hot swap micro SD card slot here on the left with a protective flap. The display is 3.8 inches POS LCD with the decent 480 by 800 pixels of resolution. This translates to 246 ppi pixel density, which is also above average, and you'd be hard pressed to call any interface elements jagged or pixelated. As you see, regular RGB matrix we have here on the Samsung Galaxy Ace 2. Now let's have a look at how the TouchWiz interface looks like on the screen. Samsung TouchWiz 4.0 over Android Gingerbread is the proven formula on the Galaxy Ace 2 here, complete with its transparencies, transitional animations, and some helpful widgets. Typing is pretty easy on the Samsung Galaxy Ace 2, since we have a fairly small screen, 3.8 inches, and your thumb reaches everywhere on the screen, so you don't have to resort to the other hand for holding the phone. Samsung has loaded its usual hubs on the Galaxy Ace 2, Game Hub, Music Hub, which come with its own multimedia stores, and also the usual apps for note-taking, file browsing, and media editing come with the Galaxy Ace 2, as we're used to with TouchWiz handsets. The phone behaves pretty well in the interface, powered smoothly by the dual-core processor with ARM Mali 400 graphics unit, the same that's in the Galaxy S2. At 800 MHz by default, the processing unit sounds slightly underclocked to the 1 GHz plus frequencies we used to in multi-core chips, but it still managed to score well on the benchmarks, and the lower processor speed doesn't affect your daily operations with the handset at all. And it acts favorably on battery life. The phone has 768 megabytes of RAM and 4 gigabytes of internal storage, of which unfortunately only 1 gigabyte is user available. Nothing belittling can be said about the stock browser of Android Gingerbread, and thanks to the dual-core processor in the Samsung Galaxy Ace 2, rendering and Adobe Flash performance are zippy and fluid. As usual with Samsung, screen brightness can be adjusted directly here from the browser interface, and the address bar goes away, leaving you with a full screen view once the page has loaded completely. The Galaxy Ace 2 sports a 14.4 megabits per second HSDPA radio, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0, assisted GPS, FM radio, and even DLNA for media streaming, so you can't complain from the lack of connectivity options. The Samsung Galaxy Ace 2 plays everything you throw at it, including DivX video files right out of the box, up to 720p definition, and the loudspeaker is pretty strong, as you can hear, although not that clean. The video player interface is pretty rich. You can even adjust the brightness from within the video player itself. The 5-megapixel shooter on the back of the Galaxy S2 is accompanied by an LED flash, managed by this tried and true TouchWiz camera UI with its transparent menus that help you frame the shot. There's the usual rich amount of scenes and shooting modes, like panorama, smile shot, action shot, and so on. There's a cartoon mode that turns your photos into jolly style of hand-drawn comics. The camera, however, is very slow to focus, especially indoors, and it needs maybe 2-3 seconds or even more sometimes to focus, take shot. And the color is turned out a bit washed out, and the pixels are soft and lacking contrast in comparison with what you get from the HC1V, for example. Still, the level of detail is about what we'd expect from a 5-megapixel shooter, and for the usual computer screen view, they will do the job. Indoors, we get what your typical run-of-the-mill smartphone cam offers, i.e. nothing spectacular, with soft images carrying pale colors. The phone shoots 720p video with 30 frames per second, which should be sufficient for any casual footage. It has a decent amount of detail, yet the white balance is off at places, and the colors look oversaturated. The Galaxy Ace 2 could have become a bestseller for Samsung, with the notable exception of a more distinct design. The compact size and good PLS LCD screen will be a boost for the everyday interaction with your smartphone, whether you're in or outside. And the dual-core processor under the hood will make sure you don't feel underpowered at all. Adding to this is a decent 5-megapixel shooter with 720p HD video capture abilities, and about the only things left to wish for in the category are at least Android ice cream sandwich and a bit less bland design than what we have here. With the current price, however, the Samsung Galaxy Nexus costs only about $50 more in the US and offers HD display plus 1080p video, not to mention Android Jelly Bean coming soon. Granted, it is way bigger than the Ace 2, so if you're looking for a more compact Android, you might want to check out the Sony Xperia U with its trendy and versatile design, or the Xperia Sola, for example. Even the HTC One V, which has a single-core processor, is a very worthy competitor since it is coming with Android ICS out of the box and has an appealing design plus a cool camera with all the goodies of the HTC ImageSense. With such competitors firmly planted around the same price range, the Galaxy Ace 2 doesn't shine among them with anything distinct but Samsung's Android module, and might be facing a steep market hill, at least until it gets updated to Android Ice Cream Sandwich. This was a video review of the Samsung Galaxy Ace 2 from Phone Arena. For more information about this and other headsets, you can visit us at phonearena.com. Thanks for watching.